Ready? Get set to be inspired, provoked, encouraged, and transformed on Lead Today with Bishop Dr. Samuel N. Mensa. Lead Today. Beat the standard. Be the standard.
Welcome to Lead Today. I'm so glad that you have made time to join me in this program where leaders are made great, where G stands for we grow leaders, the R is resource leaders, the E, we empower leaders, the A is we add value to leaders, and the T, we transform followers into leaders. For the past section, we've been looking at the essence of vision, the fuel that drives leaders, from my book. And I plan and hope that I'll be able to take you through snapshots and key principles from this book on vision, the fuel that drives leaders. It's available on Amazon, available on some of the leading bookshops in the country, and I will encourage you, you can pick it up and be able to get the principles out, and that will really add value to your leadership. Professor Stephen Adair says something, and I captured that in my book. He said, and I quote, "The African crisis of development is a crisis of visionary, ethical, and competent leadership." He went on to say, decades after independence, African countries are characterized by low growth rates, poverty, and worse still, loss of confidence as a people to deal with the socio-economic challenges to nation building. Now, let's look at the key components of what he said. That the African crisis we experience around the globe, within the continent of Africa, is a crisis of visionary leadership. It's a crisis of ethical leadership. And it's a crisis of competent leadership. I totally agree with him. And it's because over the past decades, even including the Ghana story, 66 years of our independence, especially from the 60s, majority of the African countries had independence. And if you look at the 60 years, from the 60 to the 66 years of most African countries since they had independence, African countries have definitely been characterized by the low growth, poverty, and low confidence as the people deal with the socioeconomic challenges to nation building, according to Professor Stephen Adair. So it is important we need to understand the principles of leadership. So the essence of vision is for us to appreciate the power of vision. Remember, it was vision that inspired the first biblical civilization established by the great hunter in the book of Genesis. Number two, it was vision that produced the great Egyptian civilization over 4,000 years ago and gave rise to the pyramids that still amaze us today. Number three, vision inspired the Greeks to produce philosophy and art that still impact the thinking of our world. Number four, vision motivated the great Roman Empire to expand its influence and to colonize the globe, and ignited the creating and the expansion of many of the nations that we know today. It was vision that caused the great Roman Empire to expand. As a matter of fact, it was still vision that empowered a small island to use their influence and dominate the world with their language, the English language. UK, an island, it was vision that gave them the energy, the fuel to colonize majority of the world and influence the world with their language. It is also vision that transformed the agricultural world into an industrial age. Number 6, Vision gave birth to the thousands of inventions in the last 2 centuries that have transformed our lives. Number 7, it was vision of flight that inspired the Wright brothers to invent the aeroplane. Number 8, it was vision of light that possessed Thomas Edison to invent the light bulb. Number 9, it was vision of the desk-sized computer that motivated Steve Jobs to invent access to people-friendly software that inspired Bill Gates to develop and invent the Microsoft global empire of today. It was vision. That is the energy of progress. So vision is the energy of progress. And today, our world is in desperate need of vision. That is why the wisest man who ever lived, King Solomon, said, and I quote, "Where there is no vision, the people perish." Proverbs 29:18. Where there is no vision, the people perish. So the question is, what is vision? And in my book, I gave a classical example of Henry Ford, the founder of Ford, who produced the Ford vehicle in the early 90s. So let's look at that. That is page Roman numeral 29. Let me just read. We are looking at a classical example of a corporate vision. So I just want to read from the book a classical example that I captured by Henry Ford. Henry Ford's vision for his motor company in the late 1890s. In the late 1890s. He said, and I quote, "I will build a motor car for the great multitude. It will be large enough for the family, but small enough for the individual to run and care for. It will be constructed of the best materials by the best men to be hired. After the simplest designs that modern engineering can devise, but it will be low in price that no man making a good salary will be unable to own one of it and enjoy with the family the blessing of hours of pleasure in God's great open space," unquote. Now, let's look at his vision statement concerning the invention of the motor of the vehicle, which is the Ford vehicle. He said, "I will build a motor car for the great multitude." That is talking about the product, what he wants to do, the product. So the vision was explaining what the product would be like. And number 2, he said it would be large enough for the family, the purpose of it. So we are looking at the product of it, the purpose of the vision, but small enough for the individual to run and care for. That is the person of the vision. Vision must focus on people. Vision must definitely empower people. Number 4, he said it will be constructed of the best materials by the best men to be hired. After the simplest designs that modern engineering can devise. That is about the process. So we talk about the product, the purpose, the person, the process. Number 5, but it would be low in price that no man making a good salary will be unable to own one, the price of it. So the sixth statement in his vision statement, it will be enjoyed with the family, with his family, the blessing of hours of pleasure in God's great open spaces, the principle behind it. So if you look at his vision, he's talking about the product of the vision, the purpose of the vision, the person of the vision, the process of the vision, the price of the vision, and the principle of the vision. That makes vision a very powerful instrument. If you look at the vision statement of Henry Ford, he painted a mental picture of what he really wanted to do. So you can't just craft a vision when people can't have a mental picture of your vision. It gave us a vision destination, and signpost to the end was well crafted and well defined. Thank you very much, and I hope you have been blessed by this presentation. I will be glad to hear from you the impact of this training and teaching in your life. Let me read your comments. Let's have your comments. Let's read your comments, and all the questions you do have, write them, and we will be able to spend a particular time and we'll address those concerns. I hope you have been blessed. And if you have been blessed and you find this video inspiring and informative, please share, like, and connect with other people. And let's develop our leadership skills to make our society, our community, and our nation a better place. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you for watching today's episode of Lead2day. We hope you've been blessed. Don't miss a thing. Be sure to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notifications to join this budding community of like-minded visionary leaders and believers. You know the deal. Like, share, and comment. Let's hear from you. See you next time.